The Utah Jazz. Jack and I were wrong about the Utah Jazz. We still have Jazz fans in our comments from that video talking about how wrong. Every single time they win a game, they're like, I told you so. I told you so. How do you look now? But look, we're going to make a video addressing it right now. They're proving us wrong, Jack and I. And the question for this topic is, should they be taken as a legit threat in the Western Conference? And what I'm going to say to that, first, I'll talk about the Jazz. They're 11-4. They're the second best team in the league right now, record-wise. And they have won 7 straight. They're top 10 in offensive and defensive rating. And we know Donovan Mitchell, Jordan Clarkson, they have been the main catalyst on the offensive end. Donovan Mitchell's having like career highs across the board. For me, I think they're a second-round exit team. I think they'll either face the Lakers or the Clippers in the second round. If they face the Clippers, I give them a chance to beat the Clippers. But if they don't, if they face the Lakers, yeah, they're done. I think that their ceiling is the second round based on matchups. And if everything goes right, and I mean everything, they will make it to the Western Conference Finals. But I don't see them as a finals team. I think they're a couple pieces away. And not to kind of double down on what Shaq said, even though at the moment I thought it was kind of uncalled for, but what he said I think was true, that can Donovan Mitchell be the best player on your team? If you had better pieces around him, maybe, but with this current roster construction, I don't think so.
It's weird. Yeah, no, you guys were definitely wrong about Utah. I told you guys they'll be a good team.
I said they were a playoff lock. Jack said they're missing it. I was a little bit.
I said they weren't a playoff lock.
Yeah. But no, they've been playing really well. And like I said, defense is always gonna get you close in the games. And Donovan, Jordan Clarkson, Bogdan is back, so that's been good for them. Joe Ingles has been playing really well. But what Shaq said, I can definitely see why he said it was uncalled for at the moment. But you look at the past, you look at this new era of basketball, we can go back to 2010. There has been only one instance in where your guard was the best player on the championship team. And, well, aside from Kobe, but there was Steph Curry. I think now in this league, you need to be a wing needs to be your best player in the championship team, a guy who can do it all and be versatile. I don't think guards with their small stature and the way they play the game, I don't think a guard can ever be the best player in the championship team. I think we'll probably navigate to that later, but I think as of right now, like even Luka, he's a guard, but he's 6'7".
It's just a wing dominant league.
Yeah, it's a wing dominant league. And I think Donovan Mitchell, I don't think he can be the best player. I think he could definitely be a number 2.
And I just checked his listed height. They have him at like 6'1", 6'4".
Yeah, he's small.
I thought he was always 6'3". I didn't know
they
he
put
was
the heights down though.
Yeah,
he might be. He's definitely around there.
With the height down, I checked it. He's 6. They say he's listed at 6'1".
I think that's
he's really
accurate.
Strong and athletic, and like he has bounce. But yeah, I think he can be the second best player in the championship team. Being the first with this roster, though, I just don't think they have enough firepower.
Yeah, I'll be the first to admit that I was wrong about them in the regular season. I thought they could have been a playoff team, but I thought that they also could have been one of those odd men out depending on how things shook up in the West. Clearly, they seem to be a playoff lock right now, but I guess the thought is they could be like the Nuggets last year, but I just don't see them having that playoff run. Donovan Mitchell is incredible. He is worth any max contract. He's awesome. And I do think he could be the best player on a championship team, maybe as some of this like LeBron James, Kevin Durant talent fluctuates out of the league or starts to decrease in their level of play. And if they get the right number 2, I don't think Gobert is a number 2. I see him as more of a number 3.
Offensively,
maybe.
no.
But he's great defensively, but the league is so offensive-centric right now, you need another great scoring option on the team, and they don't really have that. Their bench has been really good. I mean, can we put Jordan Clarkson in Sixth Man of the Year conversation?
He's my lock right now.
Like, he's been the Sixth Man of the Year so far
I saw
this
Bleacher
season.
Report put up their list, and he wasn't up there, and it was startling to me. Like, I was just like, a few guys weren't up there. And I was just like, wow.
Yeah, because it's probably going to be the same names discussed as usual.
Even on Defensive Player of the Year, I didn't see Drummond was up there, and I was just like, I don't know.
Jordan Clarkson has been really, really good for that team this year, and it's kind of what they needed. They needed that spark off the bench to, when Donovan Mitchell's off the floor, somebody's got to fill it up for them. Mike Conley has also been really good after a down year last year, and Gobert has played pretty well. So, I've been impressed by them, and I don't want it to sound like I'm being down on them. I just don't think I definitely don't think they get by the Lakers, which is no dig because I don't think anybody in the West could get by the Lakers except maybe the Clippers. And the Clippers would be a really tough matchup for them because on the wing, who do they have to guard Paul George and Kawhi?
O'Neal.
You know, Royce O'Neal, Joe Ingles. Like, I don't know. I don't think the matchups are great for them, but I do think they're going to. I'm wrong. I think they're going to end up having a really good regular season and just be, like you said,
So they're a playoff
probable
lock.
second round.
Are they a playoff lock?
They should
Yeah.
be. I think
Yeah.
they can get into the second round if they play.
If they would have to really bomb to miss the playoffs, or knock on wood, hopefully everybody stays healthy. But they would really have to have like a catastrophic falling out, locker room, come to blows
like last
moment.
year when Bogdan went down.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think they're a playoff lock.
Yeah, I think the Jazz, they're a playoff lock. I just don't see them going past the second round. I don't think they line up with LA and both the LA teams. Like you said, I just don't think so. But I got to name drop Shaq because Shaq has said something and it had caught my attention. I was watching the Nets play the Jazz actually. And I was watching Jared Allen and Rudy Gobert go back and forth. And I think at the end of the game, Jared Allen had 10 points and 10. I mean, not Jared Allen.
Gobert
Had 10 points and 10 rebounds. And Shaq said, quote, "You're getting paid $200 million to average 10 points and 10 rebounds."
Yeah, I feel like that was kind of unfair, though.
I think it's just he doesn't watch basketball, like because that's not what he's getting paid for.
Yeah.
He's getting paid for his defensive prowess, something Shaq
What I'm
never
gonna say
had.
though is
Yeah.
I think the Jazz will be a really good regular season team, even great, but Rudy Gobert is not that good in the playoffs. Like from recent history, and that's not even just him. It's just been every center who has his type of play type or play style or players who can't shoot. Even Giannis to a higher extent. In the playoffs, he's not the same. Ben Simmons in the playoffs, he's not the same. Players that can't shoot in the playoffs, it really hurts them. And Gobert is a great interior defender. But in terms of defending perimeter guards, when they face Houston, oh my gosh, that was such a bad matchup because if Houston went 5 out, the Jazz could not keep up. So Gobert, whatever he's doing in the regular season, that's cool. But in the playoffs, he doesn't have the same level of impact.
Yeah, and I want to say on his contract, I was one of the first people to bring it up in the offseason about how it could have been an issue over this team, and they had to take care of it one way or another, whether it was putting him on the block and figuring it out that way or offering him a deal. And when you think about Utah, look at what Gordon Hayward did to him. You know, they don't get stars. People don't go, and this is no offense, people just don't go and play in Utah, especially with the reputation that they've developed between the Russell Westbrook thing, whatever it may be. Like, stars just don't go to Utah. Gordon Hayward left Utah. So when they have a star that's willing to re-sign there, you got to do what you got to do. And I do think they overpaid for Gobert, but they have to keep their talent one way or another. And I don't know, hope they draft the third piece. But it's just a tough situation because it's a small market. It's always tough for small markets.
Right now, 6 players on the Jazz are averaging double figures. Donovan Mitchell, Jordan Clarkson, Conley, Bogdanovich, Gobert, and Joe Ingles are all averaging in double figures. And Gobert is averaging 12 points per game. Just wanted to put that out there. But yeah, I mean, I think they'll be a great regular season team, but we'll see what they do in the playoffs. I mean, like I said, the title of the video in that team preview was high floor, low ceiling. Because that's what I think they are. I think they're a high floor but a low ceiling. You know what you're going to get from Utah, but in terms of what they can do, I kind of know what they're going to do. I don't really expect them to win a championship.
I agree.